Welcome everybody, I'm Will Henry with Extru-Tech and One Solution Group. Welcome to our inaugural episode for our YouTube channel. Hopefully we get some subscriptions set up. We're all pretty new to this, so bear with us. Today we're going to cover moisture analysis of an extrusion process. So commercially, as you commercially make pet food, usually that moisture is taken at the very end of the step. All the kibble has been combined into one last vessel like the cooler. So you've got a good composite sample. Here at our lab, we like to take moistures straight off the dryer in addition to final product moistures. And that tells us and gauges us if we're at the right level for packaging later on. So what we like to do here is to get a composite sample is we'll take our sample jar and we'll collect a little bit of kibble across the entire width of the bed. So within one jar, we've got a composite sample to give us a truer moistures. So once we have that kibble sample, we then go to our fancy Ninja grinder here. That doesn't seem to be working very well at the moment. Or at all for that matter. All right, as you can see, we had to change out our little grinders. Never fails it when you're trying to show off some of your capabilities, something goes wrong. So now that we've got a nice even grind, if you look in there, we try to minimize the number of large pieces that we have in there. But before we apply anything to our moisture analyzer, we want to make sure, first of all, the unit's been powered up for at least half an hour, so all the electronics are warm. We also want to make sure that we're level using this level bubble right here. Now also on most of these moisture balances, you're allowed to configure the temperature range that you're actually checking the moisture at. So as a general rule, this was set for a different client, and we do allow our clients to change our protocols to meet their needs, but for our internal runs, we typically like that down around 105 degrees Celsius. We like that because that guarantees that we're not going to volatilize any potential fats that might be in our collection here. And if we start volatilizing the fats, then we get a false moisture reading. So now that we have that set up correctly, and it's in the auto function, so it's going to continue its moisture cycle until the weight stops decreasing. So we want to add anywhere from 2.5 to 3 grams. Another critical thing here also is to make sure that your collection plate is not setting up on top of your carriage. It's truly on the scale itself. And we're going to very evenly spread our ground kibble into the sample tray. If we get piles in there, or if we get big chunks of product, large unground particles, then we will not get an accurate reading on our moistures. So there we're at about 2.9. We wait for the scale to settle. When the asterisk goes away, that tells me that the system is ready. So I will then close the lid and I will hit play. Usually in 3 to 5 minutes, depending upon the moisture that it was at, we'll get our results. Now the more critical thing here is not the actual steps that we talked about here. It's the fact of when you've got multiple people in your facility or on your team that are taking these moistures. When we do our test runs here, we assign one person. And he follows his procedure, even though it may not be my procedure. He does it the way he does it, the exact same way each time. So he gets a consistent set of results. Where the challenge comes in is when we have visiting clients or we have new employees come in and they're taking moistures and it doesn't match the way our QA guy does it here. And we'll get disparaging numbers. So with that, that's our short first episode on how to take moistures.